Well, Jade, even though you didn't win predictions this week, at least you know that your record will always be better than the Minnesota Vikings. Grossi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to another episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom Grossi.
And I'm Jade Grossi.
Oh, baby, and we are at the penultimate week of the regular season. It's week 16, folks. Crazy things are a-brewing. Teams are making one last shot at trying to get into the dance. They're all trying to go to prom, so they're getting their promposals ready, but it's a pandemic. So what are they going to do? Are they going to do it virtually? Are they going to put billboards on the side of the road? It's a challenge. Anyway, I went 13-3 last week with 149, 74, and 1 on the season, while Jade went 10-6, 135, 88, and 1 on the season. Apparently, we picked 3 games differently, and you lost all 3. And
it happens.
On top of that, more importantly, one of those games was the Chicago Bears versus the Minnesota Vikings, in which the Vikings lost. So.
Great.
So let's start it off with Christmas. Christmas time. Christmas Day. You got the Minnesota Vikings taking on the New Orleans Saints. Oh. Now, the Vikings, they have played spoilers to the Saints for quite some time. Right?
Played what?
Played spoiler.
Played spoiler.
Yeah. Basically, they spoiled their fun. They were the problem. Yeah, it's a phrase. You have the Minneapolis Miracle. You have last year in the wild card round. Could the Minnesota Vikings pull off a W here in New Orleans and shock the world one more time? Minnesota's on their last legs. Things are looking bleak. Looking real bleak. The Saints, they've lost 2 games in a row. First to the Philadelphia Eagles, and then to the Kansas City Chiefs, and their offense looked abysmal until the fourth quarter last week. I don't think the Vikings really have a shot here, though, if they get in Drew Brees' face enough. Oh, wait, that's when they had a defense. I'm going to go with the Saints here. You get coal in your stockings. That's what you get, Vikings. Nothing else. Coal. Pure coal. Jade.
So here's what I'm going to do.
Here's what she's going to do.
I've been picking the Vikings.
She's been picking the Vikings.
They have not been winning.
They have not been winning.
So in order to give them their last shot at a possible win.
Not going to throw away your shot?
I am not going to pick them.
Nope, she's not.
And I'm going with the Saints.
She's going with the Saints.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
That's to give you a chance.
What can I say except you're welcome? How much hope you had, Vikings fans. How much hope you had. You thought that you were just going to be able to walk in here, reclaim the North. No. Even Jade has forsaken you now.
I'm giving them a chance.
Forsaken you.
Because some people think it's my fault.
Like your
I've been picking them.
paganistic
there you go.
Nordic
I'm not picking them.
gods.
So here's your
have
chance.
forsaken you. You're not going to Valhalla. No. No, you're going down to the bad place. Man, baby Bradying into our next game. You got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions had their soul literally stiff-armed out of them by the Tennessee Titans last week, and I don't want to think about that because that's exactly what might happen to the Packers this week, but we are going to ignore that for right now. So yeah, the Lions struggled mightily. The Buccaneers were behind, but thankfully it was against the Atlanta Falcons, and if they know anything, they know how to choke. And so because of that, I think the Buccaneers, who haven't looked amazing, will be able to knock off the Detroit Lions. So if anything, Lions, you get a better draft pick. So that's something.
I'm going with the Buccaneers as well.
At least they completed a Hail Mary last week. You got the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Arizona Cardinals. You got the NFC West divisional matchup here. The 49ers, well, they did the best they can against the Dallas Cowboys, and they had an onside kick return for a touchdown on them. That was pretty disappointing. But, I mean, listen, I got no expectations for the 49ers. They have no quarterback. They just brought in Josh Rosen, so if we're counting on him, Godspeed. I heard rumors that George Kittle might be able to participate. But yeah, this could be a close game because it is a divisional matchup, but I think the Cardinals are going to keep on rocking and rolling, and they're going to take this one. I believe in Kyler Murray.
Cardinals.
Proving that not everything in Florida is terrible, you got the Miami Dolphins taking on the Vegas Raiders. Well, Raiders fans, you can't even beat the Chargers anymore. You can't even do that. You almost lost to the Jets, but you didn't. You know, Henry Ruggs went fast. But this is getting pretty sad. Dolphins were able to get a W against the New England Patriots last week. So kudos to you. Looks like they are going to be playoff bound. So I think the Dolphins, if healthy, because they're missing a bunch of people, they should have this game against the Raiders. Because, listen, I wouldn't say the Raiders are a playoff contending team, but Dolphins got to show off their stuff as they head into the playoffs. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins.
I'll also go with the Dolphins.
Remember when you thought you were good for a hot second? Into our next game, you have the Jersey Giants. Yep,
we're back.
You got it back.
We're back.
Welcome back. I'm back. I'm back in the Jersey Blues. Yeah, I know it's New York Blues, but guess what? You're Jersey again. And you have them taking on the Baltimore Ravens, who we were bashing a few weeks ago because they were, and I'm not even talking about the Browns game, but the Ravens seem to have found the good stuff. If anything, it's like halftime during Space Jam. Team's losing. What's going on? They're down in the dumps. Again, poop
They drink
joke.
Michael's juice.
That sounds incredibly wrong.
That's what they do.
It is not called Michael's Juice.
What's it called?
It's not that. It's secret stuff.
Fine, maybe. That might be right.
No, Michael, that's, I've seen that other video, and that is not what we are talking about. That is not for children. So anyway, Lamar Jackson was able to get some of the secret stuff that Bugs Bunny was supplying, and they've been putting up 40 burgers. The Ravens are peaking at the right time, while the Giants are continuously disappoint everybody. Just everybody. Maybe next year. Ravens.
Ravens.
Hey! Into our next game, you have the Atlanta Falcons choking it and facing the Kansas City Chiefs. Guys, do we really even need to talk about this game? Like who made this game? Who put this on the schedule and this is gonna be a good idea? Chiefs. Actually getting to double-digit wins into our next game, you got the Cleveland Browns taking on the no longer winless New York Jets. Jets still suck, but Springsteen has awakened. All is well. And so Adam Gase should get a 6-year renewal because that just makes a whole lot of sense. The Browns have been being pretty good, pretty dominant. Nick Chubb is just phenomenal. Baker Mayfield has been playing really well. Yeah. Jets, you had your moment in the sun.
Not anymore.
No. And it proves that you also can't tank correctly because the Jaguars now have the first overall pick. So I appreciate it from storyline purposes, but you played yourself. Browns. Bear downing in terms of euthanasia into our next game. You have them taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. This would actually be a good fight in nature. I wonder who would win. I guess it depends on what kind of bear it is. Black bear, brown bear.
It's a bear.
Excuse me. There are a variety of different bears.
Sure, but they're all still bears. Unless you're talking about a teddy bear.
No. And some are more dangerous than others. Polar bears, for example, are incredibly lethal.
Right.
Incredibly lethal.
And so what if it's a polar bears and brown bears?
Sure. But you could scare one of those away. I don't remember which one it is. If you go, well, the other one will kill you. But the other one, you could do that. I don't take advice from me. But
so let's say it's a polar bear.
It's a polar. Well, then I think the polar bear is winning because what the hell is a jaguar doing in an Arctic climate? Is it lost?
That's fair.
Did it escape from a zoo? Was it on a freighter and it was just like meow 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 and it was able to jump and swim because they can swim pretty well, right? And it was able to swim and landed on an ice cap. Right? And it was just like, meow, I'm tired. And then, oh crap, right? They see a polar bear, but listen, this Jaguar
I'm gonna go with the Bears.
is pretty culturally,
Because
in
regardless
tune
if
with
it's a
things.
black or
Because
a brown
maybe on the
or a
freighter,
polar
there
bear.
was some TV that was on, right? And there was a
I think
commercial,
they could take this
a
one.
Coca-Cola commercial, and they were like, oh man, this polar bear is gonna give me some Coca-Cola.
Bears.
But that Jaguar is gonna find out real
Sorry,
quick
Jaguars.
that there is no Coca-Cola in the Arctic, only pain. So that being said,
I hope you followed all of that.
Gardner Minshew got 2 touchdowns. I mean, they sucked. They did terribly. They got blown out last week. But Gardner Minshew threw 2 touchdowns, and that's really all I care about. I believe in the stash. I love the stash. But the number 1 pick overall is at stake. So the Jaguars are going to do their due diligence and lose this game and give the Bears enough hope to think that they're actually an adequate team. Please re-sign Mitch Trubisky. Bears. Tackling the crap out of TikTok stars into our next game, you got the Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Houston Texans. Oh boy, the Steelers have dropped 3 straight. Juju Smith-Schuster was dancing on the logo, doing his TikTok dance, and then he got the crap walloped out of him. And meanwhile, the Texans, they put up a decent fight against the Colts, but yeah, you weren't going to win that game. These are 2 not great teams. The Bengals, I think they won their Super Bowl last week when they beat the Steelers because that had to have felt great. Well, folks, time for the Super Bowl hangover. I'll go with Deshaun Watson. Why not?
I didn't know which team that was until he wrote down the letter.
Texans.
So I'm also going with the Texans.
T as in Texan. Who the hell knows what this game is going to be like into our next game? You got the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. A matchup that could completely and totally change the landscape in the AFC playoff picture. This should be a very good game. The Steelers, they're a slumping. It's slumping. It's a Tuesday for them right now, which makes sense because it's the 3rd day of the week, right? Sunday, they're getting really anxious about going to work on Monday, and they're like, oh man, ruins the whole day. Monday, everyone hates the Mondays, especially Garfield. Tuesday, right? Listen, it's not even hump day. It's slump day. Cable's usually not good. Not a lot of good programs on Tuesday. And you're just like, I'm not even halfway through the week. Well, Steelers, this is your Tuesday right now. Can you make it over the hump? They really need to get some good juju back. And yes, I understand the pun. I'm not laughing, though. The Steelers need to stop sucking. The Colts, flip a coin. That's what team you're going to see. Sometimes they play really damn well. Philip Rivers was very efficient last week, 228 yards, if I'm not mistaken, and 2 touchdowns. Their defense is going to need to come in clutch. But then again, they might not have to, considering how anemic the Steelers' offense looks. This is a tough game. I'm going to say the Steelers bounce back, though. If you fail me, I will not pick you against the Browns next week. So, that's not a threat. That's a promise.
I'm going to go with the Colts.
Is it North or South Carolina into our next game? You have the Carolina Panthers taking on Wildflower and the Washington football team. The Panthers, they had a pretty close game against the Green Bay Packers. Obviously, some costly turnovers wind up hurting them, but they are able to at least put on a good show because, listen, they got a pretty good team. Meanwhile, the Washington football team fell to Seattle, unfortunately. However, Wildflower was able to keep the crown. Now, this is a big week for the Washington Wildflowers because if they win and the Giants lose, they clinch the division. That's a pretty big deal. So, the Washington football team needs to come out firing on all cylinders. The problem is twofold. 1, is Alex Smith going to be back as their QB? 2, their current QB, Dwayne Haskins, just got in trouble for going to a strip club without a mask. So, what's worse? The first one or the fact that that's not even the first time that that's happened to Dwayne Haskins? I'm still going to go with the Washington football team, though.
I am too.
Getting blown out by the Bills into our next game, you got the Denver Broncos taking on the LA Chargers. The Chargers were able to squeak away an overtime victory against the Raiders, while the Broncos, as we already talked about, got their ass destroyed by Josh Allen because, oh man, he threw it on him, he ran it on him. It was not good. It's a divisional matchup that I can imagine not many people are going to watch, but maybe they could turn it into a drinking game. And every time they suck, you drink.
Who sucks?
Exactly. You'll be dead by the first quarter. I'll go Chargers, because why not?
Chargers.
Somehow both relevant in this division, you have the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Both could still literally win the East. However, losing this week might actually end their reign, especially for the Eagles. I think they're in last place right now. The Eagles have been surging as of late. Close game with the Cardinals last week, unable to come away with the victory. Cowboys, they won last week, so they have confidence, and their whole fan base thinks they're going to the Super Bowl again. Neither of these teams are going to. There's a part of me that wants to pick the Cowboys, but I'm actually going to go with Jalen Hurts because he's looked pretty darn good, so I'm going to go with the Eagles.
Me too.
Losing to the Jets into our next game.
Oof.
You got the LA Rams taking on the Seattle Seahawks.
What happened to them?
The same thing that happens every season. High expectations, mediocre performance. People were saying for weeks, oh, the Rams are one of the best football teams. Oh, Tom, they're so good. Tom, you're sleeping on the Rams. Tom, sleeping on the Rams. And I stayed with the same position every week, that they are inconsistent. Sometimes they can look amazing. That defense can be on fire. Their offense could be really, really good if Jared Goff decides to play well and they get that running game going. But then you also have performances like last week against the Jets. You lost to the Jets.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
The Jets. And again, I appreciate you because it allowed Springsteen to wake up. Right now, you need to win this football game. And here's the thing, Rams. I know I just bashed you. I'm going to be rooting for you to win this football game.
Oh, he's picking you.
Because I hate the Seahawks. And on top of that, if you win and the Packers win, the Packers clinch the #1 overall seed. It's a win-win for me.
Really, he needs you for his own personal gain.
100%. This is called being used because you already got abused last week. This is your redemption time, Rams. This is your moment. Don't mess it up. I'm going with the Seahawks.
Oh. Oh. Okay. I'm also going to go with the Seahawks.
No one has any faith in you. No one. Prove us wrong. Prove us wrong. Or forever be subjected to mediocrity and insult. Waiting all day for Sunday night into our next game, you got the Tennessee Titans taking on the Green Bay Packers. That's right. Derrick Henry is going to stiff arm us into oblivion, but Aaron Rodgers is going to throw a cajillion touchdowns. So which one is going to prevail? This should be a fantastic game. The Titans defense is straight up trash. It's not good. Aaron Rodgers is going to carve that baby up. Aaron Jones, he's going to be running all over them Tookuses. And I'm very excited about that. Speaking of running all over Tookuses, though, Derrick Henry scares me. He is a frightening man. You know that the video, the wrecking ball video with Miley Cyrus and she's riding it? Derrick Henry's the wrecking ball in that video, right? And Ryan Tannehill's just hanging on. Now, to be fair, Ryan Tannehill was responsible for 5 touchdowns last week, okay? Ran in for 2, threw 3. Corey Davis has been playing real well. A.J. Brown been playing real well. We got to watch out for the passing game. This is not going to be a walk in the park for the Green Bay Packers, especially if Derrick Henry gets it going, which he's most likely going to. It's like standing in front of a 16-wheeler and just praying that somebody has got a blue shell that they're going to be able to launch because the truck's in first place and you don't get run over by it. I mean, I'm going to pick the Packers because, of course, obviously. But I'm terrified. Packers.
They're 16-wheeler trucks?
Sounds about right.
I thought they were 18-wheelers.
Could be. Maybe they lost 2 wheels.
Well, because when I teach doubles, we talk about a truck because it's got 9 on both sides.
That makes a lot more sense than what I said. But I've never seen a truck in my life.
All right.
Except Derrick Henry and how he trucks human beings.
Well, see, I would probably have picked the Packers without question.
Destroys them.
But after Tom had shown me the video of this football player.
He killed that man.
That he literally just put his arm out.
The man had a family.
And his arm's still fine. I'm not sure about the person that he hit, but
who's going to pay for the funeral costs?
That was intense. So
it's a financial burden on their family.
I think I'm going to go with the Titans.
I wrote P and then I wrote T. I really hope I don't have the SD after that. Finally, on Monday Night Football, you got the Buffalo Bills taking on the New England Patriots.
Bills.
Oh, Patriots
Bills.
will not reach the playoffs for the first time since 2008.
Whoa, that's awful.
I mean, it's good because that's
that's
a
great,
long time of
but
dominance.
that's awful for them.
Yeah.
But that's good.
Yeah. The Bills are looking like one of the best teams in football.
Bills.
The Bills are not only breaking tables, they're breaking hearts out there, destroying anyone in their path. I like the Bills here.
Bills.
Time to exercise the final demon. Bills. But those are our predictions. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. Only got one more week left of the regular season. So close. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com or Tom Grossi Comedy, all social media you see down below. Check out podcasts on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and of course YouTube. And a big shout and thank you to all the patrons over at patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy and the YouTube members. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi.
I'm Jade Grossi.
And as always, go Pack Go.